Good afternoon. Showing off the King here, and I'm here to do my review for Avatar Legend of Korra, Episode 7. Let's get into this review. Alright, so this episode wasn't as action packed as last week, but we got a lot of information, a lot of revelations today, and I definitely am ready to talk about it. Alright, so the episode is it's more of a mystery episode. We start with the aftermath of what happened last week with the pro bending tournament being attacked by Amon and his henchmen, and Korra running back to the stadium because if you guys don't remember, Mako and Bolin, they both actually lived at the pro bending arena. So now that it's being destroyed and it's being closed down, they don't have anywhere to live. So apparently Korra went to talk to Tenzin and was able to uh, make it so that the other Mako and Bolin can stay at the air temple with Korra. And I'm pretty sure Korra, with her feelings for Mako, she she's like ecstatic. But we have the Asami who stepped in, and she is pretty much already offered them to stay at her mansion with her and her father. So when you when you have those kind of options out there, which one you going to take? Air Temple, where they barely even have any electricity, or glorified mansion with a racetrack? I'll go with the mansion. So they go ahead and they decide to go stay at the mansion with Asami. And did I tell you guys how hot she is, by the way? But I guess we already know that. So they go and they stay at the mansion, and Asami actually invites Korra over to the mansion the next day to go swimming. So of course, Korra declines at first, saying she has to do some airbending stuff. But Bolin in his Sokka self. I'm calling him Sokka too. I'm gonna start calling Bolin Sokka too because he's our comic relief from this series, and he's been doing an awesome job. Of course, I'm not gonna don't bite my head off. He can never be Sokka. No one can ever be as funny as Sokka. But you know what? Bolin is a close second. So she shows up the next day, and she's still in her same outfit. I was assuming she was going to at least show up in a bathing suit, but I mean, she still, maybe she didn't have any plans on swimming at all. Maybe she just showed up. So she shows up, and Bolin is totally taking advantage of the fact that he's in the mansion. And he has the butler. He'll jump out the pool, and the butler, he said, "Dry me off," and he says, "Yes, Master Bolin." And he's drying him off. He's drying off Pabu, and then he'll just jump right back in the water like it was nothing. He was like, "All right, be ready in another 5 minutes. You dry me off again," that kind of stuff. So Korra, then Asami says, "What do you guys want to do today?" And of course, Korra's thinking she's going to say something girly, girly, like go shopping or makeup. And Asami's like, "No, let's go drive some really fast cars." So her and Korra go race car driving, and it's awesome. And I'm going to stop there for a second. I'm just going to say, Asami is actually being kind of cool. At this point, Korra's still not trusting her much. She's still kind of apprehensive about being around her at all. And I guess within reason, because you see somebody like that, she's kind of around the guy that you want to be with. So I can see why she was a little apprehensive about being around her. But like I said, Asami is actually trying really hard to get along with her, and try to bring her into that circle. Mako does like Asami, but he obviously has feelings for Korra, so that's what's going to be this little triangle we're going to be dealing with this season. So what ends up happening is that Korra goes upstairs to go use the bathroom. After a little incident with powder, she overhears a conversation that Mr. Sato was having on the phone, and it was something to the effect of Cabbage Corp. Oh, you know what? I do apologize. I did kind of overstep something before I got to this point. Uh, Toph's daughter, Lee Bayfong, she raided Cabbage Corp and found all the weapons that was used in the attack at the pro bending tournament. And I'm trying to hold my laughter in because it was so funny. Only true Avatar heads would know about cabbages in general in the Avatar universe, and it's a running joke. You know, in the original Last Airbender series, there was a poor guy who used to cart around cabbages, and like literally, they would always get destroyed. And his famous line was "My cabbages." So now apparently, we have in the futuristic world, there's a place called Cabbage Corp, and the same guy from his lineage is running it now. Maybe it's his son, maybe it's his son's son, who knows. So of course, when Cabbage Corp gets framed from assisting the Equalists, Li Beifong, she goes in and she shuts shit down. No cabbage for you. So she shuts him down, and she's dragging him off, and he's like, "My Cabbage Corp!" It was hilarious, hilarious. So that's kind of what happened with Cabbage Corp, and then we fast forward back to what I was originally talking about, and basically Sato tried to play it off by saying, "Oh no, we were just trying to take over Cabbage Corp. It was our biggest competitor, blah blah blah." But Korra's not buying it. Korra was like, "Nah, I know you trying to pull some shit. I think you're with the Equalists." So she goes back and tells Tenzin and Li Beifong, and they both go back and investigate further, which puts a rift in between Mako and Korra, because he thinks that she's just doing it just to be a bitch, or just try to, because she's jealous, and that's not. And for her, maybe it is a little bit of jealousy. Maybe she wanted to find something to see that they're bad and they're not great people. Who knows? But all in all, she heard something, she went with it, and I don't fault her for that as well. You're the Avatar. This is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to make things better. So if you hear something, you say it. You don't just assume. So come to find out, of course, Mako, he's really upset about, the accusations of his girlfriend's father, and he's like, he would never do that. And whenever those kind of situations come up, and I'm just like, you fighting a little bit too hard, he's probably guilty. In the TV world, not in real life, but in the TV world, that's usually how it ends up. So, Mako makes this big declaration that, if he doesn't stop with these accusations, they're no longer friends. And Korra's like, no, I'm not going to stop. And, lo and behold, Mr. Sato was working for the Equalists. He's the one that developed the tech that they used to attack the pro bending tournament. He was behind the whole thing. Asami was not. She had nothing to do with it. She was an innocent bystander, and what ends up happening is that there's a battle underneath Sato Motors where they have these giant mech suits. Like the Equalists, I mean, benders have their abilities, but the Equalists, they have technology, and their technology is crazy. And it's almost funny. It's like this time frame, again, I may be completely off base, is probably kind of like their technology is supposed to be based in like the mid 1960s, the year of the automobile, something around there. But then one minute you have like just the invention of the car, and then you have guys wielding electric batons, and now you got mech suits. I'm like, this is like 2012. We don't have anything that cool. So it's kind of like a little crazy. And again, time for another nerd fact. Those mech suits totally look like the cargo robots from the Aliens 2 movie, the one that Ripley jumped into to fight the alien queen. Just another little nerd fact. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. You can tell me about it in the comments. But anyway, there was an awesome fight. And again, we actually got to see Li Beifong use the earth bending like her daughter, where she can actually see through the ground. And I thought that was kind of awesome. And we got to see her use another metal bending technique where he's like large spikes come out of her arm, like almost like Wolverine, and she's like stabbing the metal casing of the robots. Toss's daughter is not to be effed with. She is a badass, and I am loving her every time they let her fight. I'm just going to put that out there because she can F some stuff up. Of course, Korra and Tenzin, we finally get to see Tenzin in action, and he's using his I'm about to say earth bending, his air bending techniques, and he's pushing back the robots, and Korra's fire bending. They're going with each other in succession, and it's awesome. But of course, these robot suits, they eventually take over and they incapacitate everybody. But luckily, Mako and Bolin have jumped in as well, and they managed to rescue everybody and escape. And of course, like I said, Mr. Sato, he was behind it, and Asami actually ended up shocking him and knocking him unconscious and leaving with the group. So that's kind of in a nutshell. That's kind of how the episode ends with them escaping, and Lee Bei Fong, she's going to resign as the police chief so she can get her revenge the right way. There's nothing like a little bit of vigilante justice, okay? And you can't do that if you're an officer of the law, and I'm for that, okay? So yeah, that was pretty much the episode in a nutshell. I'm going to also give this episode a 3. You know what? I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of a 5. It was that last little action scene definitely tipped it in that scale for the good things. But again, I want to know what you guys thought about this episode. Rate, comment, subscribe, and well, let's get this conversation going. This is Show Enough the King. Have a great, awesome